Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with this week's Market Buzz. And Trump comes out firing tariffs against 8 European countries trying to win Greenland. Now, that is a little bit interesting, using tariffs as a mean for political persuasion. Anyway, let's see what happens. Obviously, the EU are not really happy about this, in particularly Denmark, and they've got an EU leaders meeting on Thursday. Let's see what the outcome is there. But as we know with Trump, comes out with all guns blazing, and then he backs down. But I think this is different. I think as whether or not he's there to, or how he can actually purchase it, I really don't know. Anyway, everything's for sale according to Donald Trump. Equities, as a result of that, have dropped in trading today. US index also drops just at 99. Also gold and silver back on record highs, or two record highs. So a little bit of concerns. Also concerns that Trump's weighing in too much on the Fed. And as a result of that, a little bit of concern there as to who will lead the Jerome not resigns when he leaves. Okay, basically also in the US, industrial production falls out of bed, down about 0.7%. That's not too positive. Manufacturing production is also a little bit weaker. Core PPI remains elevated. It doesn't look all that good over in the US, and that to me is a concern because whilst Trump's blazing all the way up there, the economy is starting to take a second look where people are. And I think that might see a little bit of rotation out of equities in the US into other areas. However, over in China, a different story. Industrial production advances up 0.52%, which was good, a little bit higher. Retail sales rise a little bit, but missed targets, so a little bit off. But more importantly, GDP quarter on quarter was up 1.2%. Now, I think that's all quite positive, particularly when we find PPOC is quite happy to support the economy further. And remember, they've got a lot that they can do to support the economy. And I actually feel that might also look and compete and help that super cycle which we're looking in commodities, which a lot of people are as well. So there is quite a bit on at the moment in the macro space. Not only do we have a new round of tariffs, we've still got issues over in Iran. We're still trying to resolve issues, in the Middle East. And I think that's a concern. Israel weighing in there as well, in Gaza. So in Sudan, we've got another hotspots as well. So we've got a lot of hotspots. Venezuela's another one. Sorry, just forgot that one. So there's plenty out there in terms of what's actually happening. I think anything can turn. But I think that will keep some of the themes alive that we had in 2026. And I think if anything there, they're looking strong. All we have to do is really have a look at gold and silver. Both of those markets went to record highs again today. And as long as they stay in these above the breakout level and a little bit more in our trade of the week, you can see that those markets remain quite supportive for both of those positions. Okay, now I guess I'll just a little bit deeper dive into what Donald Trump's actually proposing. Now he's looked to put tariffs on Denmark, Sweden, France, Germany, Netherlands, and the United Kingdom and Norway. And to me, that is quite interesting. Now, Denmark actually looks after Greenland. So it's something that, I guess you've got to look at it. Denmark's got to decide if they want to sell it or not, which I don't think they will. I can remember actually looking at a clip from the Denmark political side of it in one of the houses, and they were in fits of laughter over it. So anyway, let's see what Donald Trump actually comes off with. The important thing is that there's a 10% tariff that goes on the 1st of June, goes on the 1st of February, and then if nothing's resolved at 25%, it'll ratchet up to 25% by June. As Donald Trump says, until the US is allowed to buy Greenland. Let's see what happens. European Union's pretty much up in arms as well. That is a major concern. As a result of that, obviously we're seeing you can't blackmail a country, and that's what Donald Trump is effectively doing. So there's a few things to consider there. There's also a few things that could create some issues, and I guess the key there is whether or not what Donald Trump has done is actually illegal, but it's illegal also the other footing with the old tariffs. So if the International Emergency Economic Powers Act says that he can't do it, well then there'll be an issue and a lot of unwinding and quite a little bit of readjustments in asset values. So in my mind, a bit of a concern there. Okay, so let's see what happens. Thursday's the big day for that, so keep tuned on that. Thursday we get a view as to what Europe will do. Our European Parliament meets there to decide what they're going to look at. Okay, recent Chinese data. Now this is quite important. I think we're going to see some positive stuff. Now I'm viewing this as all positive. I've always looked for China she could pull a lot of stimulus out when she needs it. That's what's going to happen. PBOC has actually said they will continue to support it. I've included some good charts this week. You can see GDP quarter on quarter was a good number. The annual rate wasn't that good, but I'm looking at the quarter on quarter because that's actually showing per quarter actually what's happening, and that's actually quite strong. And this is the third rise, in this many months. So that's all quite good on that side. And I think also the PBC is going to keep up that looser monetary policy, and that'll support things as well. Looking at industrial production, that rose 5.2%. That's only up a little bit. That's encouraging too. And I think, I guess when you look at it, that's accelerated from the 4.8% in November. And we've also exceeded market expectations. So in my mind, that looks quite good in industrial production. So quite positive there. And I think also the fact that we are being positive, I think the PBOC will keep it positive. And for that matter, things will continue, I feel. That'll also give us a good backdrop into support to commodities. The likes of non-ferrous metals, coal, copper, iron ore. And remember last week we put that positive spin on iron ore out of China, and we're continuing to run with that. Okay, so what are we going to see this week? Quite a bit out there, and quite a bit out there in terms of numbers, and I think that's going to be quite good. PCE price indices, amongst other things, is out, which is good. We've got PMI data. We've got University of Michigan data as well, consumer sentiment. So there are quite a few things out there that will help us along. Gold, this is the first one. We remain long gold, quite happy to. And you can see here when you look at that cursor, let's just put the cursor on. You can see that we've broken above this area here, 4,630. That's very major support. As long as we stay above that line, we can look for further gains there. And if it does come back to support 45.50. Those areas are key areas of support. As long as we stay above those, we're quite solid for it to continue. If it does break those levels, that could be quite a reversal. This is a breach, so it's a breach to new highs. We need to see it move on, and if it doesn't move on, then we'll come back, and that could send an actual high in place. But at the moment, we've just got to run with it, and you've got to remain bullish on gold. So that's the gold. Let's have a look at the silver price. Once again, silver's the same. You get a sense that it all looks quite positive. Did breach to new highs, but not as strong a break as gold. So it'll either be a double top, or we'll see it trade higher. Now, note that we do have a US holiday. That is a concern because normally when we do that, we don't get a lot of follow through. So just be mindful of where we're at with that, and the holiday in the States. Remain short on the equities. Well, that's about it from me. I hope everyone has a great week. Happy trading, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.